are the main differences between jumping spider males and females? Let's find out in this video. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am David and today we're discussing the main differences between jumping spider male and females. I've had this question crop up a lot in comments, sometimes in DM on Instagram, so I thought it'd be great to do a video on it and answer some of those questions. If you request this video, this one's just for you. Now, jumping spiders come in many different shapes and sizes, and even in those species there are sub-varieties of different localities that have different colorations, but as a generality there's just so many of different ones. So I'm going to try and focus on the most commonly kept species and go for the most commonly held beliefs and what's going to hold true for you as a jumping spider pet owner, rather than looking at the whole gamut of species out there. Now, with some jumping spider species, it's also important to remember that they don't actually become sexually dimorphic, which is different between male and female, until they reach maturity. So a lot of jumping spiders, before they get really big, you basically won't know, and it can be difficult for breeders and other people to tell. So do keep that in mind as well, that you won't always be able to tell until they get to their full size. The most common difference between male and female jumping spiders, especially when you're looking at maybe audaxes or the most common Phidippus regius, is they're going to look very different in coloration. For most jumping spiders, males, especially in regius types, tend to be black and a lot darker with white patterning, maybe a little bit orange if you've got an audax, the bold type, whereas females tend to be a sort of orangey colour, maybe a brown or maybe even beige sort of colour. And that's the primary difference, especially in regius. And a lot of people tend to prefer the female appearance because they have those orangey colours, they seem to be a bit more vibrant. But for me personally, I really like the look of the males. Just that very stark contrast between the black and the white makes them very interesting to look at. You'll also see differences in other species like the Pileus semicolpris, where the males will have this golden sheen, where the females will have this almost very pale tan colour. And I think it's one of the most appealing things about the jumping spiders is the males and females can look so different, and it's very interesting to see how different they can actually look. Now, a stark difference between males and females, in a general theme of course, is the way their rump looks. Females tend to have a bit more junk in the trunk, so to speak, if you pardon the analogy, whereas males tend to be a little bit slimmer. And this holds true across most species. You will tend to find the males have a slimmer rump even when they're eaten a bit more, whereas the females will have a more rounded one. And this could be because the females obviously need to carry egg sacs, and they obviously need to be a bit bigger because they will be carrying babies. And you'll see some variation between individuals, and some people say, oh no, my male's got a big rump, because that could be basically because they're overfed. So do keep that in mind. But as a general theme, males tend to be a little bit slimmer. Something else I've observed as a big difference between male and female jumping spiders is females tend to web in only one or two places, and they'll kind of stick to that web, whereas most of my males will web in loads of different locations. That may be because in their natural ecology they will be looking for females, they'll be looking for mates, so they'll have loads of different places to go to, whereas the females only stick to one place. Or it may just be my individual quirks of my spiders, but I've seen this across multiple spiders in dozens. So I think it's a thing. If you think I'm wrong, or if you notice a similar pattern, I'd love to hear from you down in the comments. But males tend to like having loads of different houses, whereas the females tend to like stick to one location. Let's talk about one really obvious difference. Females tend to lay egg sacs, whereas males will not. And yeah, I don't really say much more about that. You'll notice when your female's doing so. Most of the time it'll be unfertilised, and it's something to try and avoid if you're keeping them as a solo pet, because it can be harmful to them. So those are the biggest differences I've noticed between male and female jumping spiders. If you have any difference you'd like to add to the list, I'd love to hear from you. But in the meantime, take care and see you later.